good afternoon and thanks for joining us right here on Midday Kentucky. I was just telling the floor crew, I can't see you standing back there. There we are, come into the light. Gorgeous. Hey everyone, welcome to Midday. How are you, David Goldman?
Well, it's a wonderful Tuesday. It's hot, but I'm doing
Is it hot outside?
Oh, Troy, it's gotten so hot. It's kind of muggy, but good old Kentucky weather. It'll change soon enough.
We were just having a laugh before the show, hence why you caught me having a bit of a giggle. We do get up to a little bit of no good before the cameras roll.
Yeah.
And everyone's always screaming at us, telling us to get into place. I've got this one over there yelling at me, that one over there pointing. I don't know what's going on half the time. Have you been watching the show Proposal?
I have. And
Did you watch last night?
I didn't. I missed it. But when I was doing the reading, I was like, I got excited about it. So.
Okay. All right. Well, last night, of course, it was the third episode of ABC's new show, The Proposal, where 10 people compete for the love of a mystery person, man or woman. You may recognize one of the competing women last night.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I wasn't going to come. I was not going to do this up until like very, very recently. And something happened. I slept on it and I woke up and I just knew that this was something I couldn't pass up for whatever reason. But I've never been more ready in my life to fall in love than I am right now.
Okay, well, that's Kristen Whitney, who appeared on the season 21 of The Bachelor. Now, she was on the show, of course. She made it all the way to the end. And even though the mystery man, you ready for this, forgot her name, Stephen ended up proposing to a woman named Sophia, and she said yes. But on the show's Facebook page this morning, the couple posted a video explaining that they are no longer together. They thought they would be better as friends. Listen to Stephen's takeaway from his experience with the show.
Speaking of the show, I feel like it is a show that definitely could work. You'll see it in Mike and Monica and Jordan and Ashley. It's something that can work. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for Sophia and I, but we have this amazing friendship from the show.
Okay, David, here's my question, my friend. I needed to sleep on it to see if I wanted to do the show, and I woke up and I was like, yeah, I want to meet someone who doesn't know my name.
Right.
And then I said yes to the proposal.
I'm more ready for love than ever
Today.
before.
I think about that when I go to sleep. I think, I wonder if tomorrow will be the day that I decide I'm going to propose to someone
I think
I just met.
We should do a show on finding TT love. I think it would be great. That's the next show.
Well, I actually, David, you're taking my lines because I asked you that before the show started, and you went out and said there's not enough airtime.
Well,
so
me,
that's
I
what
would
you
never
said to me.
say that.
I love this show. It's on every Monday night on ABC.
It's going to be huge.
It's not. It's failing.
It's so
I'm
funny,
sorry,
though.
David. If you watch all the Twitter throughout the show,
Yeah.
it gets slammed. But here's the thing. I don't quite get... I believe in love at first sight. I know that can happen.
But you have to see them in order to
You
fall
have
in
to
love.
see them. Well, and also think about all these people that do online dating from overseas and other
Right.
countries. You can fall in love with someone over a period of time
Right.
through phone calls and emails and things like that, I'm sure. But the thing is also, not in 25 minutes,
Oh, I
which
know.
is hysterical.
It's just unrealistic.
I know. All right, this is something else that's unrealistic, everyone. It's a decision that may be bingo looking good. KFC is developing, tell me it's not so, a vegetarian chicken substitute, and they're going to test it in the UK. Well, it's probably best to test it there. A spokesperson for the fast food chain says they're not winging it. Adding that this research is part of a broader plan to reduce the calories in their meals. If their new chicken substitute passes the taste test, it will launch in 2019. David, I'm sorry, do you like Kentucky Fried?
I
Be
will dabble.
honest.
I'll dabble with some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I adore it.
But, you know, I feel like I was looking at what they're making this chicken out of.
Don't
and
tell me.
It's a lot of wheat gluten and a lot of soy, which I don't think is that great for you anyways. It is good that they have a different take on actually getting, you know, vegetarian options, but I don't really dig it. You know, stay away if you don't want KFC. Get potatoes.
I don't ever eat the chicken. I just eat the skin and throw the chicken out.
That's terrible, Troy. Okay, that is
But
terrible.
I'd buy a bucket just for the skin. I would. I'm not going to lie to you.
Real talk with
No,
TT.
real talk. Something else I want to discuss with you is a little bit more on a serious note. Migrant parents that live in Denmark ghettos, which are low income or heavily populated Muslim areas there, will have to send their kids to class. Now, these classes teach the values of Denmark, from language to religious holidays. If parents refuse, the government say they will lose their welfare benefits. The New York Times reports that these new laws are targeting communities that are not willing to merge with Danish culture. David, what are your thoughts on this?
I like that. I think it's great. I think, the Danish culture is something that they're really trying to bring together, but I do think it's kind of intense when they're pushing their religious values, because in the article it was talking about they're pushing Christmas, Easter, and I know they want the community to come together, and I think, hey, that's great. Let's educate, let's show our values.
And the language.
And the language barrier, of course, but to push I feel like they're targeting.
Well, here's the thing, and I thought this was, it reminds me of something that went on in Australia back in the 70s. Not exactly the same, but very similar in a way, but as of 2017, Denmark's housing ministry said non-Western immigrants made up 66.5% of ghetto populace. They also account for 8.7% of Denmark's 5.7 million population. Look, I think it's a good idea to teach the children how to simulate and the cultures and the thoughts of that country.
Right.
I'm a little bit disturbed that if you don't, the parents will lose welfare entitlements.
Yeah.
But then again, I also believe that you should simulate
Right.
in some level.
Right.
And I know that when we have immigrants that come into Australia, of course, unfortunately they go into these areas and it's just them.
Right.
And then what happens is they never simulate.
I think that's
and
what
it becomes
happened.
hard
Right.
for you and your family to become part of the country. Now, these immigrants, they're not all there just because they run across the ocean.
Right.
They're there for a reason.
Right.
Denmark took them in to begin with.
Right.
I think it's a tough policy, but I also think, I wonder how Americans would feel if it happened here.
Oh, well, I feel like America would push that strongly, honestly.
Really?
A lot of them would, unfortunately, instead of, take me as you are.
Yeah.
But I think people want them to turn out, like, you're American now, so you have to act American.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. Tell us what you think. Head over to Midday Kentucky's Facebook page. We've posted the story up there. All right, David, take the story away.